organize the races as you can, and then you try to like win through it. Looks like we're starting right now.
Oh yeah, they're off already.
All right, nothing for the first two chests. We're seeing a clear like preference on where you like to start. So zer0rush starting at Link's house and then going up towards Escape. Walkingeye starting at Sanctuary and headed towards Kakariko.
Yep. Looks like zer0rush is setting up for the tree pull here right away. It's a pretty good choice. You want to find out what the tree gives you? Maybe it's bombs, maybe it's full magic. Okay, might come in handy.
Do you know about the different tiers of the tree pull, Herfy?
Not 100% to be honest, but I kind of do.
Gotcha. So there are three different rankings. There's a green pool, a blue pool, and a red pool. Aptly named as the color of rupees that you get from them. So the first one is a kill enemy, doesn't matter if you've taken any damage combination, and that is your green pool. Your second tier is kill, I believe it's 4 enemies while taking damage. That is your blue pool, and then kill 4 enemies without taking damage. You have to pull the tree in order to reset the tier. So you can use that to check a couple of different tiers as you maneuver through the seed. It's very good for early check.
Mm-hmm. It's especially good if you can manage to somehow pull some bombs out of that. The tree pulls are randomized in Rando, so it's not always the same.
Yeah, and I like to go for the tree pull that's right by Sanctuary because the bush monsters also have randomized item drops, and we saw, interestingly enough, at the very beginning, zer0rush finding the fire rod behind the race item.
Oh, that's gonna come in handy, especially with that full magic refill he got from the tree pull earlier. So that means he has quite a nice weapon already.
Oh yeah, fire rod can make getting through Escape really easily. So Walkingeye getting lucky. Lots of bombs here for Walkingeye. Didn't need to buy him. Just found him inside Blind's house. No problem.
You can also grab a single rupee. You can also grab all the rupees here. Now he's only 9 rupees short of checking the bottle merchant, so hopefully he finds some more.
You sounded a little bit disappointed with that green rupee in that house. Do you have a lot of experience with like going up to the chest in like this game and just like, oh, there's that green rupee for me? Not again.
A little bit. I mean, personally, it's there's a hammer in the well.
Oh my goodness,
that's a good find. And the flute. Jeez, who drops all this stuff down the well?
Ether.
Okay. 10 arrows.
Okay. For a second, I was getting too excited. You definitely don't want to get too excited with a front-loaded seed, and hammer and ether and flute so early on is really good, especially getting the flute in Kakariko. Lots of things open up. Death Mountain, being able to go check places that are a bit far off to look really early in the game, such as like the Ice Rod Cave, heading over to Desert. So yeah, the flute makes all these checks a lot easier.
Definitely, and not only the checks, you just have such an advantage with the Light World Traversal. It just can get you to all the corners of the map, except for Death Mountain, really quickly. I guess it gets you to Death Mountain, but not really up there.
Yeah, it kind of drops you off right before the old man's little safety cave. So we see zer0rush heading up this way. He's going to be really happy with this well. Going to get that hammer and the flute and ether. Reason why we're excited to see ether, it's 1/3 of the potential required medallions for the seed. So 2 dungeons in this, Misery Mire and To the Rock, both require a medallion to open up, and those are randomized.
Yep, so for all we know, they could already have access to both. Or they could have access to none of them yet. So it's only going to be a second here till Walkingeye realizes, okay, there's a fire out at the race game, I might want to pick that up. The only other real difference so far is that zer0rush decided to check Uncle already, which had the blue mail for him, which is a nice safety item to find right away at the beginning of the seed.
Oh yeah, and especially with the hammer and the fire rod so early in this, I expect them to be heading to escape really shortly.
Yeah, they really should be. We'll see how that goes. You see zer0rush farming some more rupees here so he can pay off the bottle vendor.
Yeah, he's not gonna be too happy about that, just getting that piece of heart.
Yeah, that guy is a ripoff usually.
Oh, I mean, he's nothing compared to the Mac Daddy of ripoff Zora King.
That's very true.
I mean, if ever there was one spot in this randomizer that you were always dreading to head up to when you really need an item and you get trolled, is King Zora. Interesting point here, Walkingeye using the flute to get over to Link's house area. That is another advantage of the flute. You don't need to save and quit.
Yeah, not only does it save you some time, it also has the advantage of once you finish a dungeon or something and you get a free refill. I mean, they're only at 4 hearts right now, but later on in the game, instead of saving and quitting and losing all that health, you can just flute to the next place with full health and full magic.
Oh yeah. There's so many times during Randomizer that you save and quit after finishing a dungeon, and then you usually start over at Link's house, have to pick up like 2-3 bottles, so that way you can get your health like a couple of bit back. There's only about 3 hearts in that area, or you have to run up to the Zelda and get yourself a refill. So there's a lot of places you can go in these seeds right after a save and quit. Ooh, and we saw zer0rush choose to save and quit. That's right, he didn't go to Sanctuary at all. So a little bit of a route diversion here.
Mm-hmm. We see Walkingeye making his way down to the first part of Escape, or I guess the rescue part of Escape. In open mode, Zelda is already rescued, and the mantle in the throne room will be open, so we won't find a Zelda down there, but there's still a chest down there that might hold something important.
Yeah, thankfully in open mode, Zelda decided to take some action and save herself. So, I like this. We see zer0rush heading to the dam area, had already checked Uncle for the blue mail, and so now Walkingeye's in there. If Walkingeye finds something huge, either the Moon Pearl or a lift upgrade, this could give Walkingeye a little bit of an edge early on to start checking Dark World locations or access Death Mountain semi-vanilla-y.
Mm-hmm, definitely, yeah. And I really like this routing too. I like to do the dam and the mini Moldorm Cave. It's like an early location that has no real requirements to get to, and it has quite the item density. Sometimes you just get a bunch of rupees and heart pieces out of it, so it's not really worth it, but it's always good to check.
zer0rush having a little bit of trouble in the mini Moldorm Cave. The hammer hitbox is really rough, but I think he wants to save the magic for the fire rod for like something really frustrating.
Yeah, probably. I don't blame him. Oh, well, he switches it. Just because he's down to 1 heart doesn't want to get a death in here. That's always painful, having to walk all the way back.
Oh yeah. Nice. We're seeing the lamp there from the generous guy, but nothing much else here. So not really a hype cave. More like a, this is a nice convenience.
Mediocre cave, you could say. We also saw on Walkingeye's side he had a map check, and as far as I could tell, Crystal 5 was at EP. We had a red pendant at Desert, and we had another number of Crystal at Hera, if I'm not completely mistaken.
That's not too bad. Seeing one of the 2 crystals that you need for the double-chested fairy in Light World can really create some interesting gambles here. Depending on what we see in the Dark World, we can start to theorize what the double-chested fairy actually has.
Yep, and you never know, she might just hold that one item you need.
So let's see. zer0rush is heading into escape. We know he's going to be a little bit disappointed with this one. The chest right next to Zelda had the burrito, and there was 50 rupees in the chest that normally contains the blue boomerang. With the lamp in hand, he can actually continue on through the rest of this dungeon. So we may see a full clear here. zer0rush may have an advantage being able to open up that side room and get those extra 3 chests.
Mm-hmm.
See, Walkingeye having the same kind of difficulty with the mini Moldorm room.
Yeah, the mini Moldorms aren't any friendlier than their big brother, mother, father. I don't really know.
I believe that Moldorm has no gender. Moldorm is just a cosmic entity that is genderless and a monster.
Okay, that works for me.
So Walkingeye, with the torch in hand, yes, I was about to say more than likely going to head over to check the final long stretch item, and then I kind of want to see a run up to Death Mountain now. Lamp makes it really easy to rescue the old man, and we can get a little bit more information for those standing items. And needs to be careful. Oh no, zer0rush taken to death, but I believe that was planned. More than likely trying to do a death warp here.
Yeah, and it seems you were exactly right. He's continuing with the escape after he's found the lamp and the other items that weren't all that great in Zelda's chest.
Yeah, he's got that 1 key, which is essential. You need at least 1 key coming in here because there's still 1 chest that you can get, but it normally contains a small key. If you don't have that, you cannot progress. They made it in open mode possible for that small key to be behind the little bonus room in Escape. Mm-hmm. And then the other small key that you get is you have to defeat a rat. Ooh, Cane of Samaria. That has the potential to be huge. 2 dungeons where Cane of Samaria is required: Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. With only 1 pendant in Light World, this could be a huge play here.
Alright, I apologize. I have returned.
No worries. We found the Cane of Samaria in Escape.
Ooh, very nice.
And the mirror. So that's Escape, not really front-loaded, but back-loaded with some quality items here.
Yeah, it sure seems like it. So we'll have to see when Walkingeye decides to make his trip over there and finish up the rest of Escape for himself. Still no Dark World access for these guys, but 13 minutes in, that's not really a big worry yet.
Oh yeah. Version 26, you're usually waiting a little bit to get that Dark World access. Very rarely do you get it underneath the 20-minute mark.
Alright, and we're getting our first zer0rush check here. Just some love and some money. I don't know, do you usually talk to these people? Like the zer0rush and the bomb shop guy to get hints on where the crystals and the green pendant are? I suppose in open mode it's really not all that necessary, but I've seen people get all the hints that they can. So they might save up on a map check or 2.
Oh yeah. I usually prefer to wait to check the map to see if I get any of the required items to clear these dungeons off. So if I find the book and I have the glove and a fire source, or find the mirror, or if I find the bow, I'm usually checking the map, and I usually do long checks because I want to commit to memory. So it's usually a 5-second check, sit there at the map, just stare at it and be like, all right, I got it, let's go.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, it looks like zer0rush decides he's going to make his way into Tower of Hera immediately. He does have the hammer, so he shouldn't have any problems. He also has a fire source in case the basement is required.
Oh yeah, he's more than safe. 2 fire sources. There's not a lot of hearts in this dungeon, but a well-placed death warp. Looks like the basement is not required yet, but yeah, a well-placed death warp, if you're going down to the tile room, can refill your hearts and get you right back to the beginning. Beautiful execution of that room. You gotta say, being able to use the hammer, it has a difficult hitbox, but you can still hit things across little dividers. Sorry, I interrupted what you were going to say.
I kind of forgot what I was going to say. I think I was going to say that Tower of Hera is one of the easier dungeons, I would personally say, to finish up. It doesn't really have a lot of requirements, except for that fire source that might be necessary. And considering they already had the hammer, they really shouldn't have any problems here.
Oh yeah. I mean, zer0rush is heading up here to check a couple items, but I don't think that we would have saw zer0rush even touch this dungeon had he not have the hammer or a small, just like your basic level 1 sword. Ooh, and that is where our first lift upgrade is.
Seems like it's paid off.
Still one more item in this dungeon, though. And zer0rush coming in here with critical health.
Oh yeah, he needs to be careful. I'm not sure if he changed his crystal switch so he can pick up the hearts here. Yeah, he did. Okay.
Ooh, opts just to get 2 hearts. zer0rush saying, you know what, I can do this boss with 2.5 hearts.
Yep, seems pretty confident.
Walkingeye getting through Eastern. Didn't find too much, unfortunately. Usually an early Eastern can pay off, but yeah, just it doesn't seem to be the play right now. Walkingeye thinking, all right, looking at what I got, I need to head up to Death Mountain. Hera can be done, so gonna be really excited to see Walkingeye head up here. We want to have a close race, and that lift upgrade can be a huge advantage. We're just missing. Nope, go ahead.
I was just going to say, excuse me, the only problem for Walkingeye is he hasn't checked escape, so he doesn't have the mirror. He can't even get up to Hera, even if he wanted to.
Ooh, that is right. I thought for some reason that Walkingeye was heading towards that way, but yeah, that's really unfortunate that I didn't recognize that. All right, so Walkingeye needs the prerequisite to head over to escape first. So yeah, zer0rush here had 3 items, Samaria as well.
He is going back in from that basement play, though. He just got a key off of Moldorm, so basement must hold an item.
Going to the a fellow racer of this game of mine likes to use this room for a bathroom break.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Just the setup, and now we just wait.
Yep, that is really, well, save for the walls that are moving, but I think they're a bit short to really do anything with. But this is really the only break you're going to get in a rando playthrough, I'd say.
Ooh, awesome. Looks like Walkingeye is heading back into escape.
Yeah, very good choice from him there. He'll be a bit miffed once he finds that hammer. The mirror, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. And it's just a small shield down in the basement.
Yeah, not really worth it, but it might turn out to be good once he finds the second shield upgrade. That fire shield is pretty helpful.
Yeah, but not just that, you know, knowing that there's an item inside of Hera and leaving that basement chest. My apologies, didn't mute fast enough.
That's okay. So, yeah, as you say, you don't want to leave an item behind and have it in the back of your head at all times. especially near the end when you're just looking for that last go mode item.
Speaking of common last items, did you happen to see what was on that floating island?
I did not catch that.
The ice rod, my friend.
Ooh.
That's really good. If Turok is required, zer0rush has a huge advantage of... Oh, I need to go looking for this ice rod. It's just right up there. It's right by there. On my way into that dungeon, I'll just swing by and collect my ice rod.
Oh yeah, that's true. Couldn't really be a better placement for that now that you say it like that.
I've always kind of liked the randomized logic where you get to check out the medallion that's required to enter Turok, and you're like, oh, it's Quake, but I don't have Quake. Head on over to the Hookshot Cave. There's Quake. Ah, cool. Thanks, Death Mountain.
zer0rush is heading into the Paradox Cave, and woo, hello there. Gets the Titan's mitts and the boots.
Oh my goodness, Death Mountain's just paying off here. So I think we're likely to see a Super Bunny from zer0rush here. If he doesn't find Moon Pearl.
Oh, we're getting our second map check here for the Dark World. The green pendant down in Mire, the blue one in Ice, and crystal number 6 up in T-Rock.
Awesome. So yeah, that ice rod is required, and zer0rush knows where it is. Walkingeye probably not far behind in that knowledge.
Yep, he's going to clear up his Tower of Hera now, and then he'll probably head over there and check everything out too. Getting an early King's Tomb Jack, and it's his first sword. That really paid off for zer0rush.
Oh yeah. So zer0rush, one piece away from Dark World access. Was one piece away only with the hammer and the power glove combination. Still needs that mirror, or that not mirror, but Moon Pearl. But now has even quicker Dark World access with that Titan's Mitt. And well, speaking of, a lot of luck here with these pathings. Headed up to Death Mountain, got to Hera, got the first lift upgrade. Went over to Dark Death Mountain, getting the rest of pretty much anything that he wanted for like mobility outside of the flippers or the hookshot, and is just now ready to kind of rock and roll through this seed.
Yep, he's definitely set up for a good start here. He has a lot of options now where he wants to check. Decides to check out Sahasrarla's hot first and talks to him for the tip. Sahasrarla just telling him that Misery Mire is going to be the green pendant today, and I assume then he will start heading off to the Dark World, unless he also wants to do an early EP check real quick.
Oh yeah, I like that tip that they've introduced. You know, being able to talk to Sahasrarla, and then even if the green pendant is in the Dark World, he'll still kind of let you know that. While we did get Samarian and Flute early on, may not need to utilize it, but it being a green pendant, I'd still make a gamble to go check out Misery Mire area. I kind of got to question this play by zer0rush here. Now, has Dark World access, decides to go inside of Eastern, doesn't have the bow though.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't want to call it a bad play because it probably isn't. We sadly already know that the palace itself doesn't really yield anything, but I don't know. I probably would have skipped out on that, to be honest, for now.
I mean, I think zer0rush might be operating underneath the logic of Eastern Palace having something, and you know, in a race setting, you want to cover all your bases. So I think what zer0rush is setting up here is thinking, all right, well, if I find nothing here, and still kind of get through this dungeon, at least if I need to get the pendant, I'll have the big key and I'll just be able to come in through. Come in through here really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw Quake from Eastern, and yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah. I was pretty sure that Walkingeye went in through Eastern, but I didn't see anything toggled on the tracker. So looks like we're all caught up now. Shout outs to our tracker, Sir Link-A-Lot.
Yep, big shout outs for keeping track of all the items for us here.
Yeah, last tournament we weren't so lucky. The one in May, the majority of the time the commentators had to keep track of everything going on, which, looking at this tournament, is a huge blessing in disguise, because some of the double races that go on would make commentating really tough if you had to keep track of 4 people running around.
Oh yeah, I don't think that will be even possible without a dedicated tracker, because people would just be going insane, I assume. But yeah, so far we don't have a whole lot of route divergence yet. Walkingeye is probably going to pick up the same items that zer0rush picked up a couple minutes ago. While zer0rush checked out EP, decided to save and quit out of it, and is probably going to head to the Dark World now.
Absolutely. I mean, even going to Eastern a little bit early, with nothing really yielding, at least has 2/3 of the medallions needed for Dark World access. Or not Dark World access, Dark World Dungeon access for Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. So that's not bad odds.
No, not at all. He's also going to be able to check out the Mire Shed here that has 2 items. And he could definitely get into there. Requirement being Quake this time around, while Walkingeye picks up his boots and his Titan's mitts.
All right, this is an interesting play, though. I'm trying to like theorize. This seed gave Samaria, Lamp, and Flute and Titan's Mitt pretty easy. zer0rush heading over to Mire first. Still early in the seed, could make that green pendant gamble, and it could really pay off for him. We see Walkingeye now equipped with the same equipment, so outside of that Moon Pearl, Walkingeye is right behind zer0rush. And finds the bow.
He just finds the bow in Checkerboard Cave, which is huge. Definitely a required item this seed. Or really all seeds. One of the few items that are definitely always required to finish the game.
Beautiful. Walkingeye about to get his Moon Pearl. Let's see if Walkingeye heads over to King's Tomb to get his first sword, though. Nope. Going straight to Dark World.
Or is he? Yeah, looks like he is.
And it looks like zer0rush did not want to make the Mire gamble early. So let's see. Let's see if Mire is holding on to something. But at the same time, I can't complain with this move. Has everything necessary for pod, able to take down a crystal. So when you're looking at a crystal versus a pendant argument, that's a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm. And I really like this play, because afterwards he can just, after he finished the dungeon, he just mirrors and grabs the EP crystal real quick too, because he just got his bow.
I believe Eastern... Is Eastern a crystal, or is it a pendant? It is a crystal, that was right.
Yeah, it's crystal number 5, I think.
I got a little bit confused for a second, because I looked down at the tracker and I saw red, so like I just checked it really quick and I thought, it's just a red pendant.
Yeah, it happens. Oh, and speaking of red, there's a red boomerang in the bombable hut. I don't think zer0rush ever went to Village of Outcasts yet, at least.
No, but Walkingeye is going to be showing us what Thieves Town has. So hopefully, Thieves Town has a sword for us here. Walkingeye would be very happy to see that. If not, we'll probably see a combination of Samaria, Hammer, blind strategies here.
Mm-hmm. What I only recently learned is that you have to be very careful with your Samaria strats on blind, because if you happen to leave a block behind when blind dies, the pendant never drops, or the crystal, and you'll soft lock yourself.
You can't like pop it after the fact, as long as if he's in the process of dying and you don't explode it, it just soft locks it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
The
I didn't even
crystal
know
the crystal pendant just never drops, and you just stand in there and you can't get out, and yeah, it's very annoying.
Oh man, and that would be really devastating too, because that's not a I can just switch to another item situation. No, that's you have to reset the console.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just hope for Walkingeye's sake that does not happen. Because I don't know when the last time Walkingeye saved and quit, but it feels like after Hera. Or before Hera.
Yeah, he's been fluting a lot everywhere, but let's not commentators curse these guys and just hope that they know what they're doing. Okay, so far Pod pretty front-loaded with keys, as it usually is. And Thieves Town really not paying out yet as well.
Yeah. Thieves Town being a little bit dry today, but as we know from Thieves Town, the items of worth are usually much later.
Oh no. zer0rush jumped over to the blue beetle and got knocked down the hole, and then he was stuck behind the crystal switch.
Oh!
Oh no, again. Okay, at least he got rid of all those annoying beetles.
Oh my goodness, no.
He is having no luck with this dungeon, jeez.
He's sick and tired of seeing those things. I think what he's just gonna do is, he's gonna refill those hearts. I was like, oh man, it's like, are you gonna risk it even more to try to get through here with like such low health? Alright, zer0rush, you got it this time, no problems. There you go, dodge the beetle, and you're good to go, my friend.
Alright, there we go. Walkingeye getting a nice fairy drop over here in Thieves Town.
Yeah, the enemy prize packs are also randomized. Sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're really looking for a fairy drop from one of the Pokies when you're in Turtle Rock, and you're just like, oh, why is it just, rupees? This isn't the prize pack that I want. Walkingeye getting the literacy.
We can now read.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Walkingeye, not really a lot of good the book can do for him. He can read the pedestal, or not he can read the pedestal, yes, but he can also read the tablets, but is kind of powerless to obtain those items behind there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how Walkingeye handles this fight. We're looking at a hammer.
Yep, looks like he wants to do hammer strats, and seems to be pretty good so far, even though the blind fight doesn't really start until you get two heads floating around shooting fireballs at you.
It's important to note that it doesn't matter what you hit Blind's head with. You have to hit him 3 times with it. So you could have Gold Sword and hit Blind, but you still have to hit him 3 times. Alright, looks like he's switching over to Samaria. Oh, no!
Oh, that's very unfortunate. Let's see if he decides to go right back in for a rematch, or if he decides to leave. Nope, looks like he's set on killing that guy. Oh, and zer0rush forgetting that he has the Cane of Samaria already, pushing the statue. That'll cost him like 3 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, it's a huge time loss for zer0rush. Walkingeye is going to have a tremendous lead now on that with that. Can't even finish the joke. But yeah, looking over at Walkingeye, so the blind fight the second time, also known as the rematch, much more frustrating. Running really low on magic, needs to be careful. You can leave those blocks there, and every time he crosses the block, it deals damage to him. So, oh man, this is really unfortunate. Walkingeye has no choice but to use the hammer here on the worst part of this fight.
Yeah, now that blind switched to the top, it's gonna be even harder because you kinda have to hammer him from the side because the hammer hitbox is so bad. Oh no. Takes another death to blind here.
He's not phased. He's going in for round 3.
Yep, he's having none of that. Does not want to give up on this crystal.
Oh. Took a hit. So now even less hearts. So picks up that heart. Out of magic.
Yeah. There's going to be another heart for him right in front of Blind's door, but other than that, he's probably going to be looking for a magic refill here. Maybe he gets a lucky drop. He does get a heart.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to farm for drops there. Alright, round 3, hammer only. We believe in you, Walkingeye.
You can do it. Meanwhile, on zer0rush's side, he has got the mask off of Hymosaur King and fires a bunch of arrows in his face, and he's got it.
Oh yeah. Fighter Sword doesn't hit Helmasaur at all. And the hammer has a really tricky hitbox.
Ooh, watch out. Oh boy. Oh no. You only needed one more hit on that.
So while this is happening, looking at the crystals that are marked down there, it looks like one of the pair, the dual crystals, 5-6, is in Trotorock. So that severely limits the possibilities of what the double-chested fairy can have. So we already see the bow. Trotorock having 5 or 6 limits items such as your final lift upgrade, the hammer, Samaria, Fire Rod, Ice Rod, from being in that dungeon. And seeing as though we have the majority of these already, it's looking much less likely that these are in that area.
Yeah, there really can't be much anymore that Fat Fairy holds. Though I am a mean person and I'm holding out hope that the Fat Fairy holds their first sword upgrade.
Their first one?
Yeah, I mean the Master Sword, you know.
Oh, be able to complete Ganon?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
It's probably highly unlikely that they won't run into a sword upgrade before that, but that would be something.
Beautiful. Walkingeye's done it. Round 4.
Yeah, that was a perfect fight. I don't think he even got hit once.
Oh no.
Well, that's gotta feel bad. If you're racing, especially in a tournament race, you die 3 times blind, you definitely feel behind now.
Definitely, but it really comes down to routing. Took 3 deaths to blind. I'm willing to bet that puts Walkingeye about 5 minutes behind.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good guess of how much time that cost him total.
But it just comes down to the gambles. Where is Walkingeye going to go?
Oh, zer0rush gets a beautiful red knight skip here on the Armos fight, gets a quick kill, and gets a red goo in a bottle for his troubles, and his second crystal.
Yeah, so zer0rush 3 crystals to Walkingeye's 2. Ooh, early dig for Walkingeye. Bug net.
Not bad.
So zer0rush with 2 bottles in hand. Got a second bottle from Armos. Some red goo. Nice safety item.
Yeah, it's always good to get a bunch of free potions.
Yeah, but the sick kid unfortunately doesn't have anything for him, so the bottles might be nice, but sick kid doesn't really want to help out.
No, sure doesn't look like it.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. So Walkingeye without a sword cannot do the hammer dash. A lot of people don't actually know this. You need the hammer to do the majority, or not the hammer, the sword to do the majority of the item dash through things.
Yeah, I only recently just learned that after I tried it and then horribly bonked off of one of those packs doing nothing to them.
Yeah, the first time that happened to me, I just thought I was a line bad. So I think I tried for at least a good 30 seconds, and I was just like, is the game broken? What's happening here? Why can't I get my item dash in? And Walkingeye getting the 3rd and final medallion, so now has nothing to worry about as far as, you know, what medallions are needed for what dungeon.
Yep, that's always good to have off your mind, really. Because you never quite know. I mean, they already checked Meyer, but as you said, it's a green pendant, so they might never want to go in there. And knowing that Turtle Rock is one of the 5-6 crystals, he's probably happy to know, okay, I don't have to worry about that. I can just go up there whenever I feel like it and have all the items, and then I can definitely open it.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely worth noting the way that Walkingeye went through this seed. So, decided to go to the digging game first, as you cannot participate in the digging game if you have the purple chest behind you.
Yep, that digging game, the game guy really doesn't like anyone else being with you.
I'm not too sure why. Do you have any theories?
I mean, with a face like that, he probably just doesn't want a lot of people to see him. Oh, we just got the silvers from Stump Kid. That's a nice find.
Yeah, silver's no bow, but eventually Walkingeye will be heading over to check Meyer in the Meyer area. So having silvers right off the bat as soon as you have the bow is really nice.
I mean, you left the chest and to go check Hype Cave. I'm not sure if the chest will still be there once he comes back out.
It will. I actually didn't know that myself until I saw it. As long as you don't... there's a couple of spots where the chest will still remain. Regardless of like where you go.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there are still a couple of places that despawn it. But yeah, as far as this goes, yeah, you can leave it there, and then you can go check Hype Cave, and then you can just run on back, and it'll be sitting there waiting for you.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, purple chest is now a new companion. Just waiting for you. Oh, there he is.
There he is. We also saw that the Hype Cave wasn't too hype. It got us a fetch quest item in the shovel, and that's about it.
Could be good, could be bad.
Meanwhile, zer0rush is making his way through Thieves Town. We've already seen that from Walkingeye, and also that it didn't really hold any item of importance. Oh, and interesting. Walkingeye is deciding to check the tablet here. He can't really get it yet without a sword, but he wants to know if it is anything of importance, and it's just couch cash.
Alright, so mirroring, hopefully heading over to 6. Yes, alright. So this is exciting. So if you're rooting for your Walkingeye in this, he's about to get his bow. Pod and Eastern are now viable, as is Meyer to dip into. No sword though, still.
Yeah, he'll have to get to that thief's, to the king's tomb at some point. Didn't mean to call the king a thief.
I mean, I don't know. He could have been a usurper. You've
Yeah,
seen
you
this
never
before.
know. I mean, there's got to be a reason why there's a Stalfo sitting on the throne, right?
I think that one is described best during this month, October. Yeah, spooky king, man.
Oh.
He's a spooky king.
Okay, that makes total sense. I stand corrected.
Although the remaining 11 months still makes no sense. Complete mystery.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever really find out what made that Stalfos go there, put on a crown and a little cape, and sit down on that throne.
Yeah, VTorp, get on it. We need
All right.
lore in our randomizers now.
Yeah, absolutely. zer0rush having a considerably easier time with the blind fight thanks to his sword find.
Oh yeah. How's one more heart on Walkingeye though? Which, I mean, it's more substantial in red mail, but blue mail having an additional heart can still, like, in clutch moments when you're taking down a boss and you have just one heart left, you'll sit there and you'll look and go, thank you, that one heart container that I decided to pick up. We see so many racers about, like, around at this time into, like, the seed, you'll see them find that location and go, I'm fine with, like, you know, my 8-9 hearts.
Yeah, I think heart containers and especially heart pieces are probably, along with like arrow upgrades and stuff and rupees, the most skipped items.
All right, so Walkingeye is making his way over to the Palace of Darkness and the Eastern Palace combination. But here's the unfortunate thing, where zer0rush has a huge potential for advantage. He's already in the as far like ahead with the crystals leading to on Walkingeye. Gets his second sword right here, but I mean that's good news for Walkingeye. If he comes here, he's gonna find a sword. But basically, what I was trying to work towards is that you need a sword to finish this dungeon.
Yeah, absolutely. If you go in here and go to the back without a sword, you'll be stopped by those dreaded vines. Nothing, they're completely indestructible except for a little sword slash, so unless you find a sword beforehand, you'll never get to Mathula.
Yeah, it reminds me of another game. I can't remember. It involves like capturing little critters and like some kind of like sphere. But there's these tiny trees all over the place, and man, like just some things you can't get by unless like they know a certain move. But luckily, zer0rush knows that move.
Yep, it seems like it. I mean, the game you were talking about, it seems vaguely familiar. Can't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah, it's gonna bother me all day. Ooh.
Alright, zer0rush getting the key dash, decides might as well finish up Skullwoods while I'm here. I have everything I need for it. Oh, that was a very nice torch room there.
Yeah, there's a very interesting glitch that can happen there. If the Wallmaster picks you up in a frame perfect situation as you are just starting your dash, and not like the dash animation, like you're just starting when you start to move, it causes a minor scrolling glitch.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Basically, what'll happen is you'll dash, but you'll still be held by the Wallmaster, and then until the Wallmaster falls again, you won't be free. But the moment that you go up in the next room, it will kind of put you in the room previous with all the jellies and like the holes in the ground. So you'll be in the room where like the Gibdo and the mini Moldorm and stuff like that is right before the boss room, but it'll load the textures of the first or the second room in that second that last half. So it's really interesting. It's an easy fix. You just mirror, but it's one additional mirror that you don't have to. So zer0rush, while I was doing that whole explanation, I missed the Mothdealer fight, but he used the hammer, which is, as we know, very tough. zer0rush had the Master Sword, could have done spins or slashes, but opted to go for a little bit of risk and a little bit of increased damage. And what was on that pedestal? I think I saw half magic?
It was powder, if I don't... Oh, maybe not. It seems to be half magic, according to chat. I thought it was powder.
Alright, well, obviously, it's a pedestal seed. I mean, who's going to pass up half magic?
I wouldn't. Half magic is probably one of my favorite items in this game.
Awesome. Well then, you know, that's pretty awesome. We got ourselves a pedestal seed. Woo woo. Kappa, kappa.
Oh, and it's raining money from the sky. I know what they want to see, but I wouldn't complain about someone dropping some 20s on me from the sky. Alright, and Walkingeye is just finishing up his trek through Pod here, while zer0rush decides to check East Dark World Death Mountain, which holds quite a bit of items for him, so let's see what he can get out of here.
Yeah, didn't check this cave. Had the ability to, using Super Bunny, but would have only netted him the information for what Turtle Rock needs to get open in these two chests, which would not have really helped him.
Nope, not at all.
So zer0rush here, just 2 crystals away, needs to get the hook shot and needs to get the flippers. I believe that is everything that zer0rush needs to complete go mode. Walkingeye in the same situation, but just a couple of crystals behind.
Okay, so zer0rush definitely remembers what was on that floating island.
Now here's the thing. I don't think we've seen what Turtle Rock needs to get into it. So if it's bombos, zer0rush doesn't have bombos yet. zer0rush didn't do the Dwarven Blacksmiths. So if he's figuring to do Turtle Rock while he's up here, that's going to help Walkingeye catch up a little bit in time due to the trouble that he had in Thieves Town. And it's bombos!
It is bombos! Commentator's curse.
Oh, I mean, for Walkingeye, probably happy. Unbeknownst, doesn't know. But yeah, that's really good news for Walkingeye.
Yeah, definitely. That means zer0rush will have to find bombos, and there's quite a bunch of spaces or places left for him to check before he might figure out a go and check out the place where bombos was.
And what's really good about this is that it's still a race. I mean, it was always still a race going on to it, but the possibilities for gambles here. Now we see zer0rush making a play. This could be the Dwarven Blacksmith gamble. It's starting to look like it.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like it. And I mean, with the mirror in hand so early already, it's really not that big of a time loss. Ooh, I guess he hasn't checked out the digging game either yet, so he's going to do that first.
Yeah, it's still good news if you're rooting for Walkingeye.
Yeah, he's definitely getting a couple of seconds of catch-up here.
Yeah, Walkingeye also was already in Eastern Palace before, so this is just going to be one of those situations where you're just a quick in, get to the big chest room, and then take down the boss.
Yeah, shouldn't be much of a problem for him at all, and he has that added bonus of already finding the silvers before he kills the Armmost Knight, so that will also save him some time.
Yeah, what we want to see is Walkingeye head over to. It'll be a risk in his eyes, but we know it'll pay off with a sword for Walkingeye.
Yeah, he either needs to check the King's Tomb or start going to Skull Woods, at least the front part of Skull Woods, where there's another sword upgrade. So I wonder, after...
You know, I think he will. Looking at what he's got, and given that he was already in that area, it's just kind of clicked together. Just got the ice rod, but still needs those flippers. Flippers and that hook shot.
Flippers and hookshot, yeah. That's really all he still needs.
That's right. zer0rush didn't do all this overworld movement yet.
Yeah,
this is more time that Walkingeye can utilize. Because as a commentator, we want a close race, and as a viewer, you also want a close race. Because these, if you're watching these to support your friends, you want to watch your friends, either come back from like being behind or stay in the lead. You want advantageous situations for your friends.
Alright, so there's the silvers for zer0rush. Good thing he decided to check here.
Zero is missing the hook shot and the flippers for go mode. Has the level 2 sword, so able to damage Ganon. Temper would just make it easier. But yeah, has the required sword upgrade. I do believe that the minimum amount of items with good pendant placements, the required items to finish the seed are bow, hookshot, your final lift upgrade, the moon pearl, of course, a fire source, the mirror. Actually, no, you don't need the mirror. The hammer and a level 2 sword. I believe that's everything that you need to complete a seed at its absolute lowest.
Yeah, I think you got all the items.
Now, how often that comes up is very rare, especially in these 26 seeds.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that B26 seed yet, where you only need the absolute minimum of items, but considering these guys are an hour in now and only 2 items short of go mode, I think they're on a pretty good pace.
Alright, so eyes over on Walkingeye's stream. Heading over to go check Quakefish and Zora, I believe. We haven't seen Zora, we haven't seen the Waterfall Cave, and we haven't seen Quakefish. Now, the the flippers can't be at the Waterfall Cave, but the hookshot can.
Yeah, definitely. We could also be getting vanilla flippers, maybe.
That'd be interesting. Oh no.
I think he's just fluting to A to fake flipper here so he can do the water walking glitch.
Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, I hope he's still trying to go to Zora because we haven't seen Zora yet. Ooh,
we're also gonna find out what's at the dig spot.
Just a heart.
Yeah, still grabs it though. At least it's not a boring hard piece.
Alright, so important for this glitch, Walkingeye has to enter and then exit. And then just to re-enter.
Oh, nothing fancy in here.
Looks like zer0rush has the same idea. So for the first time in a long time, both of our racers are in the same area.
Yeah, given almost in high five.
Walkingeye remembering that he has the ability to walk on water. Ooh.
Ooh,
Scary.
Yeah. Needs to be careful though, not to get hit by anything.
And just a blue boomerang.
Not a good deal.
Right. Oh, well, I don't want to be this guy, but I'm going to be this guy. I'm thinking flippers are in Turtle Rock that lead to a vanilla hookshot in Swamp.
Oh, yeah, that could be. And it looks like Turtle Rock is exactly where zer0rush is heading now that he's finally got the bomb moves that he's wanted. And we're getting a bumper cave check here from Walkingeye. Gonna see what's up on that ledge. And it's a bottle. I don't think he's gonna pick that up. Nope. He thought about it for a second, but then decided, nah, I already got 2 of those. That should be enough.
Yeah, 2 bottles, and both of our racers also have the bug net. The good thing about these later dungeons is that there are a lot of locations for picking up fairies. So these bonk rocks right here that zer0rush is about to pass, you can hit those, and there's a fairy underneath those. And then in Turtle Rock, there is that room right after the laser bridge. If you go out there, mirror out, and you go inside the cave, that leads to 2 fairies.
Yep, that's true. They can catch quite a few fairies on their way here. If they so want to. And it looks like Walkingeye is finally getting his first sword an hour and 2 minutes in.
Yeah, this is huge considering that they had those Titan mitts at about, I think, 22, 23 minutes in.
Mm-hmm. Seems like he wants to go right back into Skull Woods and finish that up.
That's a really good play. Skullwoods is really quick to get through.
Yeah, it's a good dungeon. He'll also be picking up his Master Sword, which he'll probably be happy about, so good choice by Walkingeye here.
So let's see. I'm trying to think of overworld locations that haven't been checked, and I don't think we've seen, or at least I can't remember if we've seen the graveyard, the place that you have to mirror to above the King's Tomb.
I think Walkingeye just checked that, and it was a bomb upgrade.
Okay. Have we seen the bumper cave?
Walkingeye checked that, and it was a bottle with a bee in it.
All right. So then that leaves the Spike Cave.
Yep.
Darkwold Death Mountain. Ooh, there they are.
Oh, there's the flippers. Okay. As you called, flippers and Turtle Rock.
I'm trying not to be a wizard, but I mean, that's still early though. That means that hookshot could still be in here. That would make this dungeon a complete go mode situation for zer0rush.
Yeah, if he happens to pick up the hookshot in here in any of those chests that are coming up, he'll be absolutely in go mode, and that means he can go mode. What's even left? Swamp Palace, and well, after he finishes Turtle Rock, that's about it, right?
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna change something. I completely forgot about how like early they got the requirements to go into Mire. So I want to say that Mire, either the green pendant or Mire itself, has the hookshot to finalize this seed.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, if V26 has taught us anything, it's that pendant dungeons always hold something important. I'd be quite surprised if we manage to find a seed where they don't have to dip into any pendant dungeons at all. Okay, Walkingeye is coming up on his Mothula fight here. He's pretty good on magic. A lot better than zer0rush was, at least. Still needs that final key from that Gibdo, though.
Ooh, almost got grabbed.
That was close. You know, one complaint I've always had is, why are these guys called wall masters? They're coming out of the ceiling.
I have a feeling that it has something to do with the very first one, and where they came from, and so the name just kind of stuck.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a really quick Mothula fight.
Oh yeah, Fire Rod does really good against Mothula if you can get it. Plus, Walkingeye managed to get a spin in there. It's really interesting, the damage kind of like upgrades with some of the swords. So a sword spin from the fighter sword, I believe, does the same as a slash from its next level equivalent. But that leaves the butter sword a little bit awkward because it doesn't matter whether you spin or slash, the butter sword is still doing the maximum possible damage.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're getting a pedestal check here. Once again, finds out that half magic is on the pedestal.
For Walkingeye, that's a blessing in disguise. Taking those multiple deaths to blind, the last thing that he would want in this seed is a pedestal seed. And given how early the sword location was, and the mirror, you have to think that, okay, you know, your opponent more than likely has already done this check.
Alright, I'm thinking that Walkingeye is also on his way over to Turtle Rock, so these guys really aren't that far apart at all. Let's hope he remembers that the floating island had the ice rod. I'm pretty sure he does.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks like both of our tablets were just couch cash.
Yeah, nothing too great there.
Ooh.
Okay,
zer0rush accidentally falling off over here, so looks like he's setting up for the skips. Gets one. 2 in a row.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh. Now I would have taken care of the beat a little bit earlier. So 3 in a row, getting that small key. He's going for the 4th. Oh no!
Oh no! That was almost a perfect laser skip broom. Alright, he decides to drink his red goo. Can't really blame him. You don't want to die here.
Alrighty, so one item still left in here. It's going to be on Trinex. Will Trinex have the hookshot?
That is the big question. I mean, we just got the mushroom, so that's another possibility that just opened up. Oh, and Walkingeye is also checking the hookshot cave. Oh, wait. I guess he's going down the backwards way to the Super Bunny cave. He hasn't checked those 2 chests yet.
Yeah, I've seen this this routing of like Dark World, Death Mountain a lot recently. So utilizing this to pick up the to open up the dungeon, and then checking the final couple of chests, and then making your way back into it.
Yeah, it's pretty good routing, I have to say. I personally I haven't really seen that before, so that's something new to learn. Okay, and zer0rush is having no problems with the Hammertronics fight, gets the 2 heads down. Now he just has to kill that weird snake monster that comes out of the shell after you kill the 2 heads. Oh, finishes it off with a nice hammer to the face. And we get a piece of heart.
All right, so zer0rush exiting Turtle Rock victorious, but still no hookshot in hand.
Yeah, now, does he take the gamble of going straight into Swamp and hoping for a vanilla hookshot? Looks like he wants to put his flippers to good use first. He's probably gonna check like Hylia Island and the Hobo.
Oh yeah, they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, you'd think with the fake flippers from earlier, then they would have taken the quick detour, but apparently they really wanted to get up to Zora real quick. Which is obviously totally fine, but you just gotta remember, as zer0rush does now, to come back here and check Hobo once you get the flippers.
Oh yeah, if this is anything big, that would have made a a big difference in the sequence break. And it's nothing.
It is nothing. Well, let's see where he's off to now. He's still got a couple places left that he can check, but it looks like he is gambling on Swamp Palace.
Oh yeah, he's taking the ultimate risk and hoping that an item that he needs is in the vanilla dungeon.
He really wants to avoid those pendant dungeons. I can't really blame him, but this might turn out to be a little bit of a waste of time. I mean, whatever he can clear now. Oh no, he's getting the big bomb.
That's right.
That's even better. Yeah, I like this a lot better than taking the dive into Swamp and just hoping for a vanilla hookshot and then having to go back out. I was gonna say it's not too awful because whatever he can clear now, he doesn't have to clear when he comes back. But since he's only one item away from go mode, and go moding Swamp Palace is probably the fastest thing you can do compared to full clearing it, this is a really good choice.
Oh, absolutely. Plus, we're going to finally see what is on the pyramid.
Oh yeah, that too. Oh, just a piece of art.
But that's some interesting tech that zer0rush used. So you can drop the bomb off, and then you can go perform the check at the same time, and you don't have to be in the same screen as the bomb. You just have to be on the same map.
Yeah, for the longest time I thought you had to have the bomb visible, but that's not true. Not only can you get both checks in, you also save a little bit of screen lag because that explosion really taxes the SNES.
Yeah, the other thing that I was afraid of too is that since it's such a big bomb and how bombs normally damage you, I thought that if you're within the blast radius, it would hurt you.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I also didn't know for the longest time until I think I saw Ben or ACM, someone push up to the wall right next to the bomb, and I was like, oh, I guess this doesn't hurt you.
All right, so it looks like the mushroom did not produce anything of worth. So that leaves the rest of these dungeons to contain it. So Desert Palace hasn't been checked, Ice hasn't been checked, and Mire hasn't been checked, as well as, of course, Swamp, because they just now got the flippers.
Yep, and the question will be, which pendant dungeon potentially do they decide to check first, and which one will actually be the one that holds the hookshot? That could make all the difference in the siege.
I'm gonna sit by my Meyer theory.
Okay, yeah, I don't think Meyer is an unrealistic guess. It does only have 2 potential items, but that doesn't mean that one of them can't be the hookshot. He is making his way over to the Dark World, so I'm wondering, does he have any overworld spots left over here? He might check Bumper Cave. I don't think he's been there yet. While Walkingeye over on the other side is slowly making his way to Trinix. He's going to be up to the laser bridge very soon.
So yeah, zer0rush having to check the last couple of overworld locations that he didn't. So this is great. As soon as Walkingeye finishes Turtle Rock, both of our racers are going to be at the same position.
Yeah, the time that Walkingeye needs to finish up the Turtle Rock here is probably the time, or around the time, that zer0rush will take to finish up all these overworld spots that Walkingeye has already checked. So it might be a little bit deceptive right now, but they're really still pretty close to each other. Walkingeye decides to take the safety exit down there. I can't really blame him. I think laser skip is probably, at least to me personally, one of the harder things to do.
It's nerve-wracking at first to set it up, yeah. When I was first learning it for NMG, trying to get like the setup right, a lot of people will opt to like walk all the way to just that little ledge that you just have to get around and just like time it perfectly to get around it. But yeah, it's really nerve-wracking to just kind of like dash down there, drop the Samaria block, and just be like, yeah, I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we see zer0rush making the gamble at Ice Palace.
Okay, so he decides that Ice Palace is his first choice. I mean, out of all the dungeons that are left, it is the only one that has 3 instead of 2 potential items. So that might be his thought process. It is, unfortunately, also one of the longer ones to clear out fully.
Mm-hmm. And if Walkingeye decides to choose a different dungeon to gamble into, I'd almost say Desert. You can get a lot checked in Desert really quickly.
Yeah, I'd probably also start out with Desert. Or I might start out with Meyer simply because it's a green pendant. And that green pendant obviously enables you to check the Sahasrara item, so you might get 2 for 1, even if you don't find the hookshot in Meyer itself. Okay, Walkingeye starting his Hammer Trinix fight, looking good so far. Oh, but he needs to be careful now, he's down to 2 hearts.
He should have that red potion. Yes, he does.
Well, seems like one of us is paying more attention than the other one.
Oh no, you're just in the heat of the moment. I don't blame you. Whenever you see somebody like with low in health, you're just like, oh my god, do they have the thing? Do they not have the thing? Did they find the bottles yet? But yeah, Walkingeye got the red goo from the Armos fight, I believe.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, and I really like this technique here in Ice Palace. Play 2 bombs, bonk over the penguins, and then they'll just all explode. Oh, and Walkingeye decides to go for the hammer with the snake face. Oh, jeez.
With this low in health, I don't know if I do that. Yeah, just start slashing your sword, Walkingeye.
Yeah, this is definitely the safer and better choice. It might take 1 or 2 more hits, but still, before dying, it's still preferred. Alright, so that's the last crystal that Walkingeye can get to now, so we'll see what he gambles with for that hookshot location. So far, Ice Palace looks to be not the right choice, but there's still a couple of chests and of course the boss itself left. Okay, so Walkingeye also decides to check the mushroom. Can't really blame them. You get that entitled rock, you want to get it out of the way. You never know what you have. Decides to fill up on blue potions. Also a very good choice. Oh, and it looks like Walkingeye has the exact same idea as zer0rush, so that means Walkingeye isn't really going to have an opportunity to catch up on him here.
Yeah. The only thing is that if it is in this dungeon, is the fortunate choice.
Yeah, you're right. I think... Let me think. No, I think there's not too much left. I think there's only the big chest maybe left. I haven't really caught if he opened it or not, but if it's not in there, Cold Stare might still have an item. I probably should have counted the items, to be fair. Okay, we're getting a big chest check now, and it's just a bunch of arrows. Apparently there's still one item left though, otherwise he probably wouldn't be continuing through this dungeon, so I'm assuming Cold Stare is also holding on to something. If it's anything of worth, we will find out soon, but you definitely don't want to leave an item in here and then start checking other dungeons and then at the very end realize, oh wait, I guess Cold Stare still had something.
Alright. Right here at the Cold Stare fight, deciding to utilize the bombos first, which is favorable as you can utilize the fire rod. Now, zer0rush needs to be super careful here. The blue mail is normally the item that you get out of Ice Palace, but it doesn't make you... Oh, he has to use his blue goo. Okay, that's good. But I mean, Cold Stare normally does about 4 hearts of damage in green mail. Reduces that to about 2 in blue mail.
Oh, and there we see Ice Palace was not the right gamble, so off to the next pendant dungeon we go.
Yeah, it's looking like they're going to be heading over to either Misery Mire or Desert, which could be really bad for Walkingeye.
Yeah, it depends on if they divert after this Ice Palace or not. If they're still both going to the same dungeon, I don't think Walkingeye is going to have much of a chance to catch up, but if Walkingeye decides to go to Desert instead of Mire here, I'm assuming zer0rush is going to Mire, he might still be mirroring back to Desert. No, he's going to Mire, okay. So since, as you said earlier, Desert is really quick to check, and if the hookshot really ends up in Desert, and that's Walkingeye's next destination, this might be a lot closer than it looks right now. But if Walkingeye also decides to go to Misery Mire after his Cold Stare fight, I don't think he's gonna have much of a chance to catch up. Though I don't want to call this race too early. That's always
Well, yeah,
a
it could
bad
still
thing.
come down to a left side, right side gamble, depending on how how nice Ganon wants to be to our racers. So it's still anybody's game. Walkingeye has done a great job at catching up in crystals here. zer0rush had a huge lead and a lot of buffer time with. I mean, I've said it too many times, and I feel bad for Walkingeye, but props to Walkingeye for sticking with finishing up Thieves Town despite those 3 deaths.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, considering that, he's caught up very nicely to zer0rush. Oh, and there's the hook shot. Right in the first chest of Mire. All right, I think...
Yeah. So, yeah, as I was thinking, the seed gave our racers everything needed for Misery Mire early, and Misery Mire was the correct play. So that puts zer0rush in go mode. Walkingeye needs to head over to Mire first thing after finishing this dungeon, or dip out to catch up to zer0rush.
Yeah, he definitely needs to hurry up here in ice and then get over to Mire as fast as he can. Now I do hope he does not choose Desert over Mire, but we will see where that ends. Oh, and zer0rush being a little bit too excited with his go mode, probably thinks he's behind from check-in and full clear in Ice Palace.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on how much you're thinking into like the items that you had in the seed. Because if you're using what I was talking about just a second ago with how open Mire was to get to early on, then yeah, you might feel a little bit behind. All right, let's see how Walkingeye takes down Cold Stare.
Also opts for the bombos. I always use bombos here, no matter if I have magic or not. It's just nice to immediately get that ice shield down and not have to deal with the falling ice blocks while you're firing fire out shots at that guy. Goes with the spin strats, doesn't really get out his fire out yet.
Probably waiting for at least one of the puffs to be gone. Nope. They're starting to get too close to comfort.
Yep, good choice here. Gets one of them down, the other one is heavily damaged. I can't imagine it's going to take him.
No.
Oh yeah, he bought all those blue potions earlier. Phew.
Yeah. now spamming it. So I think what Walkingeye wanted to do is hold on to those blue potions for like G Tower and the like. All right, so for a close race, let's send all of our psychic wavelengths over to Walkingeye. Go to Mire, my friend. Go to Mire. Get that go mode.
Yeah, let's go, and then you can also go mode Swamp Palace just as zer0rush is doing now. Go mode Swamp Palace is such a pleasure to do. He's getting out the flute. I mean, he's definitely going to flute over to 6 either way. The question just is, does he mirror back to Desert, or does he decide to enter Mire? zer0rush still opening a couple chests that are on his way, hoping for a sword upgrade probably. Okay, good. Walkingeye is indeed going to Mire. Slamming his sword into the ground to stop the rain and open up the weird creepy mouth. And zer0rush is using the poke strategy. He's having a little bit of trouble, but nothing too major. Killing these guys with the Master Sword can be quite a pain, but doing the spin and hook shot technique here kills them immediately and also gets 2 of them at once, so that's really good.
Oh yeah, I like this technique. Although it does it does have that one problem, which we almost saw from zer0rush. If Argus is heading towards you, and he picks up that puff before you have the time to like maybe hook another puff. Ooh, nice silver arrow shot. So yeah, Walkingeye's about to get the hook shot here. Gonna mirror out, heading over to swamp. So Walkingeye is just one full dungeon behind zer0rush. That's a huge lead for him going into G Tower. So has plenty of time to gamble, but if Walkingeye makes the right decision, can cut down the lead that zer0rush has significantly.
Yeah, it's definitely not over until it's over, but he, as you say, he has pretty much... He's gonna enter Swamp Palace just as zer0rush is fluting away up to G Tower, so... It's gonna be hard for him to catch up, but we'll see how well G Tower and then Ganon treats both our runners.
Yeah, since Walkingeye also went into Ice Palace while zer0rush was in there, that kept Walkingeye pretty far behind. I'm willing to bet that it's about 5 to 6 minutes right now.
Yeah, something like that. I think I don't know exactly how long Go Mode Swamp Palace takes, but it is a while still. It's faster than normal Swamp Palace, but it still takes you a couple minutes. And then the whole walking back up Death Mountain and getting over to G Tower and stuff, that also takes a little bit of time. We'll see.
Yeah. So let's think about the seed. Thinking back to about, what, 25 minutes in, you have Dark Gold Access, you have Flute, Titan's Mitt, Moon Pearl, and Walking Move had Quake, because Walking Move went into Eastern, and zer0rush didn't go into Eastern until later. Walkingeye had the advantage to make this gamble, to go into Mire. Chose not to. I mean, not going to blame the runner, not at all, because it was just a pendant and had multiple different items necessary to complete some dungeons, and then got the bow from the checkerboard cave. So, you kind of look at things and you're like, all right, I have these items, I can complete these dungeons, and they can start gathering crystals. And, as you look at, the majority of what everybody talks about, you always want to do a crystal over a pendant. So, they made the best choices that they could. Unfortunately, where the seed wanted them to go, Mire would have been an early check.
Oh, and we see a big key here on Bob's torch. Still is going to grab the small key from under the skull here, I assume. This was chest 3, by the way, since we're counting the torch usually.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Walkingeye, but it's still in there. It's right now zer0rush's race to lose, as they say.
Yeah, there's still a couple of seconds he can make up, and depending on how the Ganon fight goes, he still has a chance, definitely. If Walkingeye decides, alright, I'm going left right away, he'll immediately find the big key, so that's going to save him a little bit of time.
Ooh, a little bit of trouble with those mimics. What zer0rush needed was just the mimic to be a little bit farther out, so that way he'd go around the skull pot. But I don't know. Do you think that zer0rush is going to check any more chests on the way up, or is he just going to go straight for the Master Sword Ganon?
That's a good question. I think he might check the chests that are kind of on his way. I personally would, but we already saw earlier he might be feeling a little bit behind because of that Ice Palace full clear. Of course, we know that Walkingeye also did the same thing, but he might think, alright, I wasted a whole bunch of time in Ice Palace, I even killed Cold Stare, I full cleared it, didn't get anything for it, that definitely puts me behind, so I need to be as quick as possible. So, yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Alright, Walkingeye picks up his burrito and his last crystal, so that will send him off to G Tower.
Meanwhile, zer0rush is making his way through the final room of the gauntlet. Now they're called Land Mode 2, but if we never saw Land Mode 1, can they still just be Land Mode 2?
That's a good point. I mean, we can't call them Land Mode 1 for this seed. I don't think that's wrong.
It's the same thing with Aghanim. You know, we didn't see Aghanim in this seed initially, so does this make this the first Aghanim?
I mean, it depends on how you define it, I guess. It is the first Aghanim we see, but it is the second Aghanim in the game. Randomizer deep thoughts indeed.
Yeah, the only thoughts you can have in of Zelda are in the randomizer.
Alright, let's cross our fingers for no despawn here.
Looks like he didn't get despawned, so zer0rush is good to go. The only thing he needs to watch out for is the scrolling glitch from Moldorm here.
And as we see, he is definitely open up the chests that are still on his way, so he would like to get a tempered sword if he can. Who has a little bit of trouble with the bombs here, but... Oh no, how did that miss?
It was too far off. The pixel that you want to be standing on is directly after you come out the door. So if you move up or down, you have the chance of missing the distance for the bomb.
Okay, I thought that was interesting. He decided to check the 2 chests in the mini Helmasaur room, but he left the last chest behind the crystal switch behind. He's probably also not gonna check for the validation chest, I would assume.
Yeah, probably figures, you know what, tempered is something that I missed. It was in a pendant dungeon that I didn't go into.
Yeah,
so Walkingeye, yep. Check those 2 chests, mirrors out, is gonna find the big key here. Now, if you think you're behind and you see this big key here, that just hurts.
Yeah, that definitely does make you very happy. Okay, zer0rush is starting his Aga fight. Oh, getting the blue ball right away, but still gets a hit in. Alright, very nice Aga 2 here, despite getting some blue balls.
Yeah, handled that very nicely. Got good patterns and completed the patterns as best he could. Walkingeye taking a beating here from the anti-fairy.
Yeah, getting a bit bullied here, but makes it... Oh, no! Okay,
yeah, there you go. Remembers he can switch to the boomerang.
Okay, so zer0rush enters his Ganon fight at 1 hour 37 and 55. Gets a little bit of explanation of slugs and landworms. And off he goes spinning. Oh, that's a very nice spot. That means he can get 2 hits in per spin. Oh. Alright, still got a red potion.
I think that was his last potion.
Yeah, I believe so too. Now he's really got to be careful. These 2 first phases can be quite long and arduous when you're doing it with a Master Sword.
I didn't get a really bad setup, but wasn't like... You want Ganon to be a little bit lower when he's up there on that corner. Don't do it, zer0rush.
Ooh,
yeah, the bottom right corner is the worst location to be at for Ganon, especially on a Master Sword attempt. Fireballs almost encompass his entire body, and you know, being in that little corner when you need to get out when the firebats start coming, it's really, really tough to get out of there.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
zer0rush is doing a good job here.
Yeah, so far looking good.
I believe he just needs one more spin, and zer0rush will be out of the toughest phase.
Yeah, the last two phases are definitely, yeah, there we go. The last two phases are definitely more doable with the Master Sword. You don't really have too much danger going on anymore. You just have to make sure to get, there we go, to get close again quick enough so he doesn't have a chance to spit out his fire bat. One more
No
and he'll
warps
be in
from
the
Ganon
last phase.
in
Yeah.
phase 3.
That is unusual. Alright, there we go. Gets the first arrow in. Is he gonna get the torch glitch? Yep,
Got the torch
wonderful.
glitch. Nice
Setting
double
up for
there.
a double there, wonderful. That means one more.
And that is GG.
And that is GG for zer0rush, yes.
Alright, so that puts zer0rush at a 1-1. And puts Walkingeye at a 0-2, unfortunately.
Unfortunately so, but not all is lost yet.
Nope, Walkingeye still has a chance. Although it'll be a lot more pressure, Walkingeye can still has 4 more races to go through. So there is the possibility of Walkingeye still being able to make in the placement match.
Yeah, he definitely still has a chance to make a big comeback here, so don't count him out just yet. Even if his winning record isn't looking too stellar right now, he definitely has a chance to make a comeback. And we got our winner here, GG, zer0rush, congrats on your win.
GG.
Thank you. Good games. It was a fun seed for a while. Then it wasn't.
For a while. Yeah, how are you feeling about that seed? I guess you just told us that you thought it was pretty fun until you had to look for the hookshot, I'm guessing.
Yeah, once I found Bo, I was actually in the Mire area thinking to myself, I should do Mire because it's 2 items and I have all the items I need. And it's available this early. But I did Mirror Cave first and found Bo, which was every single other dungeon except Swamp Palace. So I did that. And then found Flippers finally in Turtle Rock after Bombos. And was kind of worried because it was still pretty early, but given that hookshot was the last item and there were 3 pendants left, it was one of those seeds where, anyone could have guessed correctly immediately and been ahead by 20 minutes.
It came down to that basically. So we talked about that, how early accessible Mire was, and not just that it was the green pendant. So Mire looked really, really attractive at the beginning. And, at about like an hour 20, I was like, you know what? I'm feeling like Flipper's Turtle Rock, and then Mire's gonna have the hookshot kind of a thing, and lo and behold, it was. But with all your overworld searching, you gave Walkingeye a lot of time to catch up. Unfortunately, your opponent suffered 3 deaths to blind, but did not submit. Kept going back in there and was victorious on the 4th attempt. But that gave you a lot of time to find the bow, start clearing out dungeons, and then it came down to that gamble. He finished Turtle Rock, and then you went to Ice Palace. If he would have gone to Mire, that would have put you guys neck and neck.
Yeah, I actually wanted to go to Mire first, but I didn't want to go to Mire and then Ice Palace and then Desert. So I just did Ice first because Desert I wasn't really feeling Desert even really quick. It just seems like that dungeon never has anything late game. But yeah, one of those seeds where it could have been anyone's race. So I was kind of sweating the whole time. My fingers didn't want to do what I wanted them to do, and messed up quite a lot of runes actually. Like I think I'm 0 for 2 with the Eastern Palace Stalfos rune that seed. So that was fun.
Yeah, the scary thing that we were just commentating on is like if you feel like you're behind and you see the big key on the torch, you can't feel good at all.
Yeah, I'm just glad there wasn't a small key right side because I usually do Compass Rune if there's a small key over there, and that would have felt real bad.
Yeah, that is always the risk that you take in there. I think a lot of people have taken up the I don't know, the route of if you find a small key in one of the 2 chests on the right side, you might as well just go to at least the 4 chests that are further down on the right side after the torch room.
Yeah, I like it a lot for multi-people race, just because it seems more consistent. But obviously, in a one-on-one, you either go the right side or you don't. So, not as
Yeah.
big of a deal.
Ooh, Walkingeye unfortunately taking a death at Ganon.
That's painful. He was pretty okay there with the spins. I guess he's gonna go pick up a fairy and maybe pick up some more potions. Can't really blame him.
Yeah, Master Sword Ganon is something that you never kind of want to have to come up, but every randomizer player practices it. Oh, and Tracker is saying that he's lost every single item.
Oh, yikes.
Well,
I'm sure that wasn't on
unfortunately, a
purpose.
death at Ganon causes you to lose all your items.
Well, wouldn't that be something?
No, that would be horrible. No, it's probably just getting ready to set up for the next race. But when you have the opportunity to make jokes, I try my best. Oh, dang.
Look at that.
Yeah, the witches had everything. Such hype witches.
Oh, the quality of the items you find at the witches hut, Jesus.
And crystals. Witches had every single crystal.
Well, if only we had known that from the start.
Okay, I think the joke isn't working anymore.
Yeah, I think we're good on that one.
Alright. Compose himself. And so, Walkingeye going into Ganon.
Yep, back for his revenge fight.
So, zer0rush, do you have, do you want to talk about, like, your choices with what dungeons to go through and kind of how you carried yourself through the sea? Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so obviously with the number of items that were given to us early, it felt like Light World was just loaded. So I'm assuming Moon Pearl is one of the last items placed. So I made sure to full clear Light World first, or at least almost all of it. I think I never can't remember, but that was why I didn't go to Dark World until much later. But from there, I kind of just went through all the dungeons. I always check Mire area first because I like to do Mire early, but I wasn't expecting to find the bow there, which changed things. So I just went back and did all the crystal dungeons because they were all accessible. I had 2 of the 3 pendants, so Turtle Rock was pretty likely as well, even though that ended up being Bombos. So I was kind of just hoping to, bounce around from dungeon to dungeon when the seed was over, and then just do the overworld last if I had to.
Yeah, it was really interesting. When you went over to Turtle Rock, and I mean, you knew really early that the ice rod there, which I was actually surprised that it's there because it's very rare that Turtle Rock is required, and then the location of the ice rod. But you got up there and you saw that it was Bombos, and Walkingeye had already done the Dwarven Blacksmith and got the Bombos, so we it's not like we were rooting against you, but we just wanted to have that close race, so we were just hoping that the small advantage that Walkingeye had kind of coming back from Thieves Town just kind of got this match as close as possible.
Yeah, I mean it could have been Bombos or Hookshot at Spike Cave, for example. I was already at that point committed not to going back there because I got Dead Rock the first time. So just a matter of luck on my part, I think. But there are some locations I skipped that I wasn't going to check for a long time. So looks like eventually I got lucky enough to find it before I lost too much time.
Yeah, but you did perform very well in this seed. Your Ganon fight especially was handled very well.
Yeah, I went into it with low health, but I still had the red potion. So I was more so concerned with, falling, dying, or anything like that. So I tried to play a little safe. Had like 5 cycle first phase or something like that. But Master Sword Ganon's not too bad with silvers, as long as you just take it slow and don't, overcommit spins.
Yeah, Walkingeye gave us our little heart attack there. Had barely enough magic to get the last couple of torches hit, and was running short on time. We saw a little bit of anxiety there with switching off of bow to the bottle and then back to bow, trying to get that silver there. But Walkingeye also completing second place. So zer0rush, that puts you at a 1-1, and that puts your opponent at a 0-2. So, your first opponent, Christos Owen, is, for your first matchup, that's tough. But, so how are you feeling about the rest of your Swiss?
We'll see, I guess. There's a lot of really, really scary people in the 1-1 bracket. Ben got put in the 1-1 bracket today, so that's always a possibility for me to just bounce from Christos right to Ben. That would kind of give me a nightmare, I think. But
oh man, that will be rough. Yeah, I hope that you're spared of that.
But whoever I play, like everyone obviously qualified for this tournament, so they're all very good. So we'll just take it as I get it, I guess.
Well, again, GG to you and congrats on the win, and I wish you the best for the rest of your tournament. Maybe we'll talk to each other again when I'm commentating one of your races.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for commentating. Thanks for watching.
All right, and in the meantime, we've also got Walkingeye here. So, Walkingeye, GG to you too. How are you feeling after that seed?
I'm feeling like I need to go practice Hammer Blind, but other than that, I feel okay. Good game there, zer0rush.
Yeah, so despite the few deaths to blind that you had, I think you still did pretty well on everything, and you guys were reasonably close for most of the race. Obviously with the blind deaths, zer0rush had a little bit of a lead on you for a while, but you managed to find the bow a bunch earlier than he did, so you had that. And,
well, I'm certainly glad I made it competitive. Yeah, glad to hear that. I'm in Ganon's Tower, and I'm seeing nobody's not done yet, so I must be at least in it. So that felt pretty good.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to watch and very competitive. It wasn't like a wash or something where you were an hour behind or something. So you did pretty well. I think really the only thing, obviously you wouldn't know that, but the only thing you could have done different is you went to Ice Palace after Turtle Rock, and so did zer0rush. Had you gone to
Oh, did he really?
Yes.
See, I was trying to do things in the opposite order that any sane person would do them in hopes of getting ahead that way. But, well, at least we both did Ice Palace. That's really funny.
Yeah, you both fully cleared out Ice Palace and then both went to Mire immediately and found
wow, I thought for sure, a reasonable person would go to Desert first, then to Mire, and then to Ice. And so I was like, all right, I'm doing the opposite. Let's try to get myself ahead here. And if it was in Swamp, I was just dead anyway. So, wow, that's funny.
Yeah, it just kind of worked out like that. But as I said, still a very entertaining race. Pretty close. A loss never feels good, but I wouldn't feel bad about it at all if I was you.
No, I'm still in it. You gotta have 4 losses to get eliminated, so I'm only halfway there. I'm still in it.
Yeah, exactly. You still have lots of chances to start a huge comeback.
I gotta give you huge props. I personally, after like one death to blind, I would have left. But you came in there and you died once to blind, and we're like, oh man, that's unfortunate. And then you went back in there, you're like, no, this isn't how I go out. I'm gonna take this guy down. And you persevered, and you did a great job at that. And all things considered, it really only came down to that one play. If you would have gone to Misery Mire as opposed to Ice Palace, this could have been your race. So like, if you think about it, everything that you suffered through, at Thieves Town, you caught back up with execution alone. Execution and good routing choices.
I appreciate that. And certainly part of it was I wanted to persevere and get through it. The other part is that I didn't know how to route it. Like, I didn't know when I was ever coming back. There was an item there. Like, I just, I had to keep going. I had to do it. So I'm glad I managed to do it, to get through it. And I definitely will be practicing that in the future. Yeah, and I felt like I followed it up with a good pod. I think I did pod after that because I got the bow shortly after that. And I think I followed it up with a good pod, and that helped me calm down a little. But I was definitely a little bit of the shakes there after Thieves Town.
Yeah, that's very understandable. As Nini said, I probably would have left at the latest after my third death because I'd be like, okay, I just can't do this right now. But you persevered, and as Nini's also said, you caught up beautifully afterwards. It came down to that last play to figure out where is the hook shot.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear it was entertaining to watch, and people had a good time. And again, GG to zer0rush. Everybody watching, please give this guy a follow. He doesn't just do this on races; he has his own stream. So everybody follow zer0rush.
Yeah, and it'd be remiss of us to not also mention that you should definitely follow Walkingeye as well. That guy is at least as entertaining and as capable of winning. So don't sell yourself short.
Thanks, man, and thanks you guys for commentating. Thanks for to the tracker as well. All these guys know a lot about this game, so give them a follow. And I really appreciate everybody coming out and watching.
Well, thank you so much for the kind words, man, and good luck to you on the rest of your Swiss.
All right, thanks. Good luck in the rest of the tournament, zer0rush. Later, guys.
Thanks, you as well. Have a good night.
Yeah, good luck to you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, so it looks like on this channel coming up soon is Oh Hey It's David versus Parisian Player with Herfy Durfy and Vitasia on commentary. So stick around here. You don't want to miss this race. Parisian Player and Oh Hey It's David are both really capable runners, and man, I know for one I'll be watching.
Yeah, please stick around. You're not quite rid of me yet. I hope I'm not too annoying.
Not at all, my friend. Not at all. It was a pleasure to commentate with you.
Thank you. I can give that compliment right back. It was a pleasure, and as I said, something I've been looking forward to, so I'm glad I got the chance.
Absolutely. Can't wait to do it again soon.
Yeah,
Adios, guys.
definitely.